And welcome everybody on this Sunday evening for Around the Diamond with head coach Thomas Scully and Jordan Marks coming up at the 7:30 hour with Nick Magnano and Danny Clear and talking about Menard Eagle baseball. But before that, from 7 to 7:30, it's us with head coach Thomas Scully. I'm Tom Boucher, and we got producers Chuck Perkins and Doug Gann over here with us live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Coach, you know, we've got a couple of games to talk about, and for us, it's our last show, and it has nothing to do with outcomes, but this was going to be our last show anyway. But let's start a little bit about, because the last week when we talked, we didn't have any games to talk about.
Right.
You know, y'all had come off the final victory, got rained out, and no playoff game to talk about other than a practice with Pineville.
Right.
So we go in and you have your first playoff game against University High, and the Lady Cubs come in, and I think the team was so focused. It was a complete game in my view. Did you see it that way?
Yeah, I did. I thought we started out a little slow. It took us 3 innings before we put up a couple of runs on the board, but yeah, we were definitely focused. You know, I was able to go and watch them on the Thursday. They played their opening round against Acadian Renaissance. So after getting to scout them a little bit and then coming back and preparing for them to play them on Tuesday, you know, we felt pretty good going into that game. They had a little pitcher that kind of flipped it up, kind of like the Oakdale girl, where she didn't throw real hard, but she threw strikes. So we focused on that and just prepared for that game. And, you know, after the third inning, we kind of got rolling, and Kaylee came in, struck out 10 in that game. And I think we ended up scoring 10 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 5 in the fifth, and got out of there 10-0 with 11 hits. Kaylee threw a one-hitter, and so I thought it went pretty well.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about was Kaylee was on from the get-go. Mm-hmm. You know, she was dialed in, and we talked about, you know, I had Causey joined us for the call on that game.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that at the show the Sunday before, you know, sitting right here, Kaylee talked about how she likes to just stay by herself pregame, not get involved with any conversation and get going. And you could tell that she dialed in, and you just talked about the job that she did. I mean, she was getting ahead of hitters and stayed ahead, and 10 strikeouts to add to her total.
It was definitely a dominating performance, and she did a great job, you know, and of course that's the game where our bottom of our order came through again and you know, had the bulk of the hits and had the majority of the RBIs. So they did a great job, and top of the order did normally what they normally do. They ended up having the first 5 batters had 6 hits, and then the bottom half had 5. So, you know, they did a good job. But, you know, Fiescanera and Drago each had 2 hits along with Shelton in the 2-hole. So I thought it was a great performance. We really were focused on just ULAB, and my only concern going into that game was looking ahead of the Parkview Baptist Notre Dame showdown. So that's what my job was, to make sure they stayed focused on that game, and they did. They did a great job, and you know, then we won that game on Tuesday, and then we waited till Saturday to meet Notre Dame, who ended up beating Parkview Baptist on the Tuesday as well.
Well, and that I was going to say, the good news on that was that Parkview Baptist and our U-High, Parkview Baptist, they started playing after our game started.
Right.
You know, so a little bit hard for them to even think about who they were going to play, because you know, they were playing their game after ours was finished.
Absolutely.
It might have been different too if they'd have played the day before and they knew who was in the bracket, you know, that they were going to be you know, facing to get after they got by University.
Right.
We talked about it in the post-game show about, and you mentioned it a little bit, but looking at 6, 7, 8, and 9, you know, you tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits total in the game for those batters, and all of them scored except for Drago scored twice, and then Drago scored once. So I mean, you're talking about 7 runs out of the 10 coming from the lower half. I mean, what does that do for a team when you've got the 6, 7, 8, and 9 hole hitters, you know, getting on base and scoring and setting it up for the folks at the top?
Well, what it does is it takes the pressure off of those 3 or 4 at the top. And, you know, the difference in being in the bottom and the top is, in the top, you're not going to get a pitch to hit every time. That you might get one opportunity at your at-bat, most of the time they're going to try to make you swing at something you don't want to take a hack at. So the difference is at the bottom, most teams are just trying to get outs. They're just trying to pitch to contact. And we do a really good job at the bottom of just staying locked in, making sure that you do your job and rolling that lineup over and passing that bat. And I thought we did a really good job of that, especially carrying over from the Oakdale game, which was the week before when we came back and beat Oakdale 8-6. I thought we did a good job in the bottom of the order trying to get it back to the top. And, the girls at the top, they have to work even harder than the ones in the bottom on certain occasions because they're not going to see very many good pitches. And in the bottom, they might get 2 instead of 1, or they might get 3 instead of 1. So they have a better opportunity of seeing something they can really drive.
Yeah, and it wasn't as if the top of the order wasn't getting on base. I mean, they had 6 hits.
Sure.
Between them through the 4.5 innings, or 5
innings. Yeah.
That they got to do, and then the big hit in that one, I think it was Giordano had went yard.
Yes, she did, and that was a great job by Giordano. I mean, here at the end, she stepped in. We put her in the 3-hole a couple of weeks ago when DeSalle went down with the leg injury, and she did a great job. She transitioned into that, and she's always been in that slot. We just tried to protect her a little bit and give her an opportunity to be behind DeSalle because we knew they'd pitch around DeSalle. Most teams would if they knew anything about her. They'd pitch around her, and that's what they did. And then with Addie Wright as hot as she's been, and then Giordano right there following up behind her. So we had a really good 1-2 punch behind the 1-2-3 group. So we felt confident, and that's the thing. The way we set our lineup up throughout the year, we juggled it around, and then we ended up setting it up really well. And, in the ULAB game, it was just huge. Everybody did a great job. And the top's always done a great job all year, but it just helps, and it gives them more confidence going back when it's their time to come around and the bottom of the half sitting on those bases.
Yeah, because you talk about hitting is contagious. Yep. And if the lower half of the lineup is doing it,
absolutely,
it'll spur the top of the lineup if they're not on their game in the very beginning. One of the surprises in the U-High game was Emily DeSalle playing. Yeah. She had to come out of the Oakdale game with the pulled hamstring, and we talked about it Sunday night. It was the first time that we had kind of heard that she probably wouldn't play. We had one more game after the Oakdale game.
Right.
And she didn't play.
Mm-hmm. Pine Prairie. Ledette played. Mm-hmm.
Played at second.
Yep.
And moved Emma over to shortstop. But Emily did step in and played, and you could tell that it was still, I don't know if it was hurting her, but it was just kind of worried about it maybe, favoring the leg in that game.
Right. I think it was more of just adjusting to being back on the field, and she had done a little bit of hitting on Monday, and she felt pretty good. And on Tuesday we got a release, and so it was really up to her. I asked her if she wanted to play, and she said absolutely. So we went ahead and made that decision right before the game. Actually found out at lunch, and we made that decision, and all we did was told her just take it lightly. Don't go full speed, just jog down the baseline, just try to feel it out, and she did. She felt good. She had a couple hits in that game, and it definitely was a surprise. It wasn't something that we wasn't aware of it because we really thought we wouldn't get her back until Saturday's game, but she was able to get in there, and that just says a lot about who she is and what she brought to this program for 5 years.
I guess that's why you put her in the 5-hole rather than up top. But then, yesterday's game, she was back up in the 3-hole, at bat. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more from Around the Diamond with head coach Thomas Scully right here live at Buffalo Wild Wings. You're watching it on 446 Sports.
Tom, before you guys go to break, too, I just want to, Coach, on behalf of 446 and all that you've done for us, letting us be a part of your program, we wanted to present you with something. I know we always looking for swag, but we wanted to make sure that you had something, and that's one of those 446 Sports jerseys. If you'll not let Jordan see that, though.
I won't. He won't fit him anyway. It'd be a sleeping shirt for him, so that's good.
Well, there you have it. Now, we're going to go ahead. Don't mind us. Your show's coming up in a bit, Coach. We'll be back right after this on 446 Sports.
Surprise!
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
The fine folks at BK Distributors want to thank all the educators for weathering the storms, so to speak, through 2020 and beyond. Thank you for your dedication to our children. The end of the school year awards are now available. Any type of award, trophies, banners, plaques, they do it all at BK Distributors. So with school almost out, that means summer league.
At Certified Transmission, you can count on our certified mechanics with over 35 years experience to get your vehicle fixed right and get you back on the road.
Got transmission problems? Go where you know. Certified Transmission.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Time for a red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
And we're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings. You're watching 446 Sports Around the Diamond with head coach Thomas Scully the first half hour, talking about Holy Savior Menard Central High School softball. Baseball will follow at 7:30 with Jordan Marks, Nick Magnano, and Danny Clear. Thomas Scully sitting to my left. I'm Tom Boucher, and now we're talking about the quarterfinal game. Notre Dame of Crowley coming in with a 20-10 record, I believe.
25-6.
25-6. Y'all
We're
were
21-10.
We were 21-10.
Mm-hmm.
So knew it was going to be a good ball game. Both teams very even. And really, in my eyes, it was a Final Four game. You know, just happened to be played in the quarterfinals. It wasn't the outcome we wanted. It ended up being 11-10, but I don't think you could ask for a better atmosphere in that ball game.
It was definitely electric. You know, the most interesting thing was, you know, after talking to people after the game and you know, talking to several people, reading a little bit about, you know, the reaction of the fans and the people that were there, even the people watching it on 446 Sports, you know, it was so intense. You know, you felt like it was just back and forth, just like a heavyweight fight, just like we've done throughout the 3 times previous we've played them. It's always been really close games. This time we just both hit the ball really well, accounted for 26 hits between 2 teams. And, you know, when you think about it and you bring 67 people to the plate, that's not normal in a softball game. But 11-10, you know, and it was an unbelievable game. I was probably the most exciting game, even though we lost that game, probably the most intense and exciting game that I've ever been in. But it never felt like we were ever going to lose. And I don't think my team ever felt like it was ever going to lose. Even being down 6-1, never thought we were going to lose. We felt like we were going to come back because we had done it so many times before.
Well, and that's what we were talking. I mean, this is a team that started out 4-10. We're talking about the Lady Eagles, young team. One senior, Emily DeSalle, and then all of a sudden it's a 17-win game winning streak that you go on, and you're sitting there at 21-10 coming into this game. You always know streaks come to an end, but I just didn't see it happening here. I thought maybe when you get to Sulphur and you got to go up against number 1 Calvary Baptist, that may be the best chance of them breaking your streak at that point. But who knows? That's why you play the game. I think the champion at Frash is going to come out of the bracket that you were in. The winner of that game, of the semifinal game, should be the champion. But you start out 1-0. They take the lead in the first inning. They get 2 on early, first 2 batters, and then Kaylee Medvin comes with a strikeout. But that first got a couple of pass balls that move the runners over, and then the leadoff runner scores.
Right.
So you're down 1-0, and then you go to the bottom half of the inning, and the big blast. I mean, folks, you got to realize that cold front that you may be hearing about on the East Coast, that's ripping through right now with tornadoes and everything else. Fortunately, we didn't get the severe weather that they're getting over in South Carolina and those areas. Right. But it was windy. The wind was blowing in. The temperature dropped significantly down into the 50s.
It was in the mid-50s, yeah.
And the wind, we showed the American flag during the national anthem, and a couple of times it was blowing straight in, and we could feel it on our back. And yet Emily DeSalle steps up, the senior, and just plows one over the flag.
She did. And the interesting thing, earlier in the week, Wednesday and Thursday, we had 2 really good practices. I felt like the 2 best practices we'd had all year. We went really long, tried to make sure we didn't leave anything uncovered or didn't talk about anything, went over every bunt coverage we had, every situation we had. On Friday, we really just let them relax and hit a little bit, and she was really hitting the ball well. And then pregame, she really was hitting the ball well. She told me, she said, this is the best I've felt as far as swinging the bat. And she did. I'll tell you, when she hit that ball, there was no doubt. Even though that gust of wind was at about 20 in her face, she hit it, and I never saw it come down.
It was a no-doubter. Yeah, and all the guys that were hanging out on the wall, were just watching it go over. I know they thought, well, we're going to get a chance to catch that one, but it went over the flagpole.
Sure.
And it was really cool to watch in that. So it's 1-1 after 1, and you've come back. Then second inning hits, and the biggest thing that you want a team to do is you get that run on the board, whether you tie it or take the lead. If you can keep that momentum and come and put a goose egg on the upper half of the second inning, now you can run with that a little bit. But that didn't happen. One of the things I kind of noticed, as good as Medvin was in the ULAB game, I don't think she was in that same zone in this one. She seemed to be throwing more balls than strikes, and then they started fouling her off a lot too. And she, at times, would let the umpires' calls or non-calls kind of get to her. Did you guys talk with her at all about that, or was I just seeing that?
No, we were. Coach Smith, Coach Laney was constantly talking with her, and when she'd come in between innings, but even during the innings while she was still in the circle, she was constantly talking to him. I mean, I thought the crew from Shreveport did a really good job. A couple calls he might have missed, but for the most part, I thought he was pretty even with it. There were some times, actually in the third inning, I went to talk to him about some of the calls, just so we could get some clarity, so I could go back to explain to her. Because once she understands the adjustments she needs to make, then she does. She's very smart. She's very good at what she does. So she just needs an answer. And so I went and asked and got some clarity, came back, presented it to her, told her to stay in her zone, stay in keep the process, excuse me, of throwing strikes, and just don't give in to the umpire. Because if you give it to an umpire, you're giving it to the hitter. So just keep your focus, keep your composure. And she did. She did a great job. In a game like that, with that type of adversity, that type of intensity, just the chaos of that game, it's a lot of pressure on a player. And I'm telling you,
she's only a freshman.
Absolutely, a sophomore. She's a sophomore now.
Sophomore.
But still, just the intensity of that game, it's tough. I mean, it is tough to get up there and compete and do that. And so she did a great job of keeping us in the game, working back, finding a way to make contact, pitch to contact. And I thought she did a great job. She had 3 strikeouts. Unfortunately, we had 6. She had 6. She gave up 6 walks, and at times they were at the right time. At times they were not. So, you know, through a 7-inning game, you really don't look at that, and you don't pinpoint one thing. But there were some different times throughout the game that I felt like when we got a lead, we needed to come back and shut the door. You know, maybe at that time, and we struggled at times trying to shut that door.
Well, you know, many teams would have possibly folded even in the second inning when they put up a 3 spot there and went up 4-1. And then, like you said, in the third inning, they put another 2 on the board. And now you're talking about a 6-1 game at that point, trailing by 5. And that's when Sophia and I were talking about, hey, you know, I don't think this team is going to fold because they just went through this at Oakdale.
Yep.
You know, they had to come back twice to win that game, 8-6, to go undefeated in district. And then just to follow up on what you were saying, we did see Kaylee was able to kind of get over that and get back into the game and throw her strikes and keep the team in. There were just some times that the fielding, there was mental errors that occurred, especially in that middle innings when they took the big lead. That were uncharacteristic for the team that we were watching on that 17-game win streak.
Right. And, you know, the toughest thing, and we talked about it, you know, we even talked about it before the game, and we worked on this. You know, some of our bunt coverages, we have certain plays on certain bunt coverages, and at times people would be standing flat foot or got caught watching the game, and so maybe we didn't have somebody covering the bag, or maybe somebody went too far and was supposed to. We were in different coverages, and so there were some mix-ups there. You know, and Notre Dame did a great job of putting the ball in play and bunting it to where we knew they were going to bunt it to. We just had to get that player there and get that play made, and we just didn't make it. A couple of times they outran a play at first and got us sleeping on that. But for the most part, I thought we did a really good job of not throwing the ball away. Instead, we ate it, which is what we asked them to do, instead of just throwing it and nobody being there. So we did a good job of that. You know, but when it was 6-1, we just never, in that dugout, and this is what I was so happy about, and I told them after the game, we never lost our composure. And I think it's just that game becomes so mental, and you've got to stay so focused. That's probably the most difficult thing to do, is stay focused in the game with that much intensity, that high pressure level of a game. Look, there was nothing easy. We were hitting the ball hard. They were hitting the ball hard. Everything was happening so fast. The weather was definitely a factor in the beginning for Kaylee. She got through that part. Then the weather became a factor for both teams.
Yeah.
And I thought, overall, she did good. Now, after we weathered that storm and we scored 4 in the third, you know, we were back in it, and it was a whole different game.
You're talking about 6-5 at that point, and then the big inning. You know, a 5 spot to go up 11 or 10-8 and go up by 2 happened in the 5th. And for all the talk about how, you know, Kaylee overcoming on the mound and keeping y'all in the game, she steps up to the plate and puts it into the wind and almost hits the guys hanging on the fence. And I got to give the guys credit on the fence. They let the ball go over.
Yeah.
They didn't reach and try to catch it, because I don't know if they would have counted that as a home run.
They wouldn't have, because they questioned it anyway. The 3 of them came together, and the home plate umpire said, I definitely saw it hit the top of the truck. So
yeah,
they did. That was part of the conversation that they had after she hit the 3-run homer. But you know, that was a blast, because I'll tell you, that was probably the hardest the wind was blowing, and it maintained that velocity the whole game as far as how hard it was blowing in. And she hit that ball just like the teeth of the wind. She hit right through it, and It was a blast. She really did. She hit it hard. She didn't hit it high.
That's right.
But she hit it
cut
about
through the
12
wind.
feet off the ground, and it got over that.
I watched it because we're in left field and we're right over the fence. The way we kind of set up toward the end of the season, with putting a table not in front of us so we could get the camera right there. Sophia followed it, and you can go back and watch it. I mean, it went over the top of the fence by about that much and hit the dog kennel in the back of the truck. And scared the dog.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it was the Evans boy, I think. It was his
Lane,
truck.
yeah.
And so, they were all just kind of laughing and cutting up, over there. But you take the lead at that point, 11 or 10-8, and you're six outs away, and then it just didn't happen. They were able to put 3 on the board and end the game in the 7th, 11-10.
Yeah, and we had the opportunity in the bottom of the 7th. Drago comes up and she ends up getting a big time walk with 2 strikes on her and a 1-2 count. She forces her to get a walk. She gets the walk, and then Davis comes up and lays an unbelievable push bunt down between right where the second baseman was supposed to be. And we get runners on first and second.
And nobody out,
and we've got our 2 hottest hitters at the plate, and
the crowd going nuts.
Oh my gosh, the crowd was unbelievable, and then unfortunately, they Sawyer bunts it and pops it up, and then DeSalle pops up to the second baseman, and then Addie comes up, with 2 outs and still runners at first and second, and she hit probably one of her best balls down the third base line. Third baseman makes an unbelievable play.
She laid out.
To lay out, catch it, and to end the game. So, definitely wasn't some cheated at bats. We had some really good at bats. But like you said, that was not meant for us. Yesterday was not meant for us to move on. But what an overall performance that these young ladies put on. They performed like nobody else, and they did everything we asked. All the mistakes we made, it still doesn't make up for how well we played.
I know when I was leaving there after packing up and heading back, I was thinking, man, I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to have the seats that I had. Mr. Campbell, I'm grateful for the scaffolding that you put up there, and our perch was perfect in what we were able to show. But the team and what they did provided a lot of entertainment. I mean, if anybody thinks that there's nothing to do in Central Louisiana, go check out some softball and some baseball games at the high school level. The girls' growth over the year, because it's a very young team. Like I said, you only lose DeSalle. You got the bulk of the team coming back. I mean, the future looks so bright for the Lady Eagles and what you have coming up. How difficult, though, in the last minute and a half that we have, was it in that huddle in left field after the game?
Well, I was, believe it or not, I was at peace with what we had done, even though we came up on the short end. It was the fact that, we didn't win. We didn't win on the scoreboard, but we won overall. We put our best foot forward. I told them before the game, matter of fact, I think Coach Slaney told them before the game, we would love them no matter what. Win or lose, we had their back. They had gotten us to, we accomplished all the goals we wanted. We were undefeated in district. We came from 4-10 to be 21-10. We got to host 2 playoff games, and to be able to have Notre Dame at home. You got to beat them all anyway to get there. So I thought we did a great job of just seizing the moment, doing what they needed to do. And, really and truly, we've all been on that end. If you're an athlete or if you played the game, you're always on that end of having that feeling when you lose your last game that you're probably going to play of the season. For DeSalle, was her last game of her career. She'll have an opportunity to play in the East-West All-Star game. But to play for the Eagles one more time, that was it. But, man, I tell you, I wouldn't want to have it any other way, and I know it hurt yesterday, but they have to be extremely proud of the effort they gave and proud of what they did to turn our season around. And as a head coach, I couldn't be more proud of them. I thought our staff did a great job. Julio Ortiz and Laney Smith, KK Gallagher, I thought we did a great job. They did a great job of just getting those girls to believe in our process, our culture, and what we wanted to accomplish, and they did it.
Well, we're going to turn it over to the baseball team who's got their playoff game coming up. They're going to talk about that with Nick and Danny and Jordan. And it's just been a pleasure all year long, Coach
Enjoyed
Scully.
it, Tom.
And grateful to Buffalo Wild Wings for hosting us here every Sunday evening. And that does it for our segment. And after this commercial break, the boys take over.
Go Eagles.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Alexandria, Louisiana. Now, the baseball program takes over. I'm joined by Danny Clear and Jordan Marks for Around the Diamond with Coach Scully and Coach Marks. Coach, regular season's over. Finished it with a nice victory over Buckeye. So let's talk about that game.
We were challenged in that game going into it, and I knew they were going to throw their guy, and there was a lot of hype around him. Previous week, he was KLB's Player of the Week. And I think our guys, saw that all week and knew it was going to be a big game for us, to stay in the 4th spot if we want it. And they responded. I mean, he was a quality arm. He was 84, 86, and I think he bumped 89 a couple of times. So real quality arm. I thought Cooper Scott set the tone for us first at bat out of the gates. He hits a double off center field wall, and we ended up driving him in and going up, and all our guys hit the ball. I mean, we were early on mid-80s, upper 80s, and that was, good to see. I know we saw it way earlier in the year, and we were prepared for it, but we hadn't seen it, in a couple of weeks. And so I was kind of, I didn't know what they were going to do on seeing, high velocity and big velo guy, and it was coming from a down angle guy, tall, 6'4", 6'5". It was coming down in there, and I thought everybody looked real comfortable on the plate. It was a really good game for us, especially to go there and get that one. And then we, especially last game of the season, you never want to, go out losing. And I think we're playing the right type of ball at the right time of the year. So.
Well, and then we go on to the signing of 6 baseball players.
Oh, yeah, the next day.
And, the next day. That was a lot of fun. Of course, we're going to have Mike Henry up here talk about him signing with LCU football here in a few minutes. But let's talk about that signing day and how nice that was.
That was special. Special for the family, special for the guys. I mean, these guys have been working, pretty much their whole life, so to speak, to play ball at the next level. And it's always good to see that come to fruition, and all 6 of those guys plus Mike going to play college football. I mean, they know what it takes. They know what they got to do each and every day. That also helps our clubhouse. Some of the younger guys around the program, they see what those guys, the type of work that those guys put in. Because to be successful in college, you're going to have to do that. So I thought it was real great for our seniors, real great for our underclassmen. and real great for the school. I mean, anytime you sign 6 guys in one day or in 1 year, so to speak, it's a plus. And like I said at the thing, I think it's 17 guys that we've moved to the next level in the last 6 years, and that including that 2020 COVID year. So call it 5 years. Guys, they know what it takes, you know, and we, as a coaching staff, we beat that into their heads. Look, hey, if you want to play college ball, this is what you got to do, and they accept the challenge and get after it.
So, do we want to talk about South Boulevard? So we got what you guys wanted, I think, and then we talked about it after the game. I think you got what you wanted out of that. You went in with a quality opponent, and you can talk about what we did during the game, but I think it worked out for you.
No doubt. And I knew South Bow was, they were 25-3 in regular season, division non-select number 1. And me and their coach Jeremy, we got together last summer and scheduled this game. So hey, look, if both of us have a bye, let's do it. I'm gonna have a quality ball club. I said, Coach, I'll be, hopefully pretty good as well. Let's do it. And another quality arm. It was a ULM commit that night, threw 3 innings against us, and we banged the ball all over the ballpark. And we as a coaching staff looked at it after 6 innings and said, man, we're right where we want to be. At this point in the season, of course, we have another week. We have all this week to get prepared for our first playoff matchup, and we're going to fix some things in practice and put in some defensive stuff and some timing plays and this and that. But I thought it was real good. I like what I saw. I thought, all of our pitchers battled. I thought all of our hitters battled. We ended up having 2 guys hit home runs. Drake hit a grand slam, and Cooper hit a moonshot that left a yard. And it's what I wanted to see, because that's the kind of baseball we're going to see down the road.
We talk about we've reached the end of the regular season, and so now we're hitting postseason. But we talked about it. You mentioned it, that you're rounding into the form that you want to. So I did a little crude math earlier to kind of illustrate where you're at and what you did from then until now. And we go back to the season preview. Your first 14 games, you had 31 errors. You were 6-8 in this stretch. You had 31 errors, 43 walks.
Okay.
Your last 13 games, 14 errors, 26 walks.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can talk about what you did through the season, but I mean those are 2 stats that are just indicative of where you rounded into and where you wanted to be.
No doubt. And that's, I say it all the time. That's why we scheduled those tough opponents first. I wanted to see what kind of holes we had as a team, what we needed to work on during the season to fix those holes, and then work on trying to perfect everything, so to speak, for, going into the playoffs and district time and this and that. So we saw what we needed to do. The guys knew what they needed to do in order to, be where we wanted to be this year, and they responded. I tell people all the time, we started off, 0-5, and then went 20-3 after that.
Yeah.
That one reason we, as a coaching staff, set up this schedule was to battle test these guys early and see what, let's see what you're made of. They responded. They come to work every day. They put in the time. They put in the effort. The energy's there. The focus is there. Super proud of them.
Before we go to break, let's talk about how the week ended up after the game on Friday, the doubleheader on Friday. Man, there was a lot of people there eating crawfish, just having a good time.
Yep.
I mean, that looked like a lot of fun, and that just shows the togetherness that you guys have.
That's right, and that's what the parents wanted to do. They wanted to, do something for the guys and the families around the Menard community. And I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook. We love the nest. We're going to miss this next year. And then just all the people. I think we bought 400 pounds of crawfish after the game Friday night, and it was great. All the families pitched in and were able to do that. The guys, another togetherness.
Team building
activity for the guys and the parents and everybody else. It just shows how close we are, and I think that means a lot in the clubhouse to have a close clubhouse. I think it makes you a better ball club.
Yep. Well, we're going to go to break, but before we go to break, we're going to have after the break, we'll have Mike Henry come in and
Before you guys go to break,
Okay.
it just wouldn't be right if I didn't come in here and.
That's right. Can we put him on camera? Good. Get him on camera.
No, it's a tough place for me to be. Coach, in all seriousness, certainly want to thank you for opening up your program. I know you've got a couple of weeks left in this season, a lot of baseball left on there, but I couldn't let you get out of here without one of these fancy shirts. It's been 3 years I've been asking for a Menard shirt and ain't got it, but I want bygones to be bygones. And there's another thing you're supposed to be bringing me too.
That's right.
But we got it yet. But anyway, Coach, that's going to lead you. But that's just a little token of our appreciation because you open your program up to us on your Sunday nights and your games. From all of us at 446, thank you.
Absolutely, Doug. Absolutely. These guys have done a great job. You've done a great job. Couldn't be more happy about where it's going.
Then let me get us to commercial.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this. See ya.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings for Around the Diamond with Coach Scully and Coach Marks. And we're now joined by Mike Henry, LCU commitment, in football. So, Mike, what did you like about LCU?
I love the campus. I love that it's right next to my house.
Okay.
I do live in Pineville, so it's kind of like a 2-minute drive.
Okay.
So my family really all gets to come and see all my games and stuff. I also like the coaches and the offense that they ran and all that stuff.
So will you stay on campus or?
I will be on campus
Okay.
because of schedule stuff.
Okay, and I don't know if that's the rules there or not, but on football, you did new coach there. Coach Ben. Have you gotten a chance to talk to Coach Ben?
I talked to him twice.
Okay,
Went to the
good.
spring game.
Yeah, we covered him. 446 covered him for while he was at Buckeye. And, just not only a great football coach, but a great man, great family man.
Yes,
so
very.
I'm glad he has that opportunity, and then you guys are going to be able to play under him. So what major? You figured it out?
Pre-law.
Yet? Pre-law. Wow. Okay. Excellent. So good stuff. So let's talk about the baseball side of it. We know you're committed to play football, but you're a great baseball player, great pitcher. So what's been most exciting? Your senior, I know we talked to you earlier in the year, but since then, what's been most exciting about this season?
I'd say just pitching and just winning games. Especially as a team, as a collective, we've been on a hot streak and we've been hitting well, way better than we did in the beginning of the season. Our pitching staff is amazing, and I think as long as we just continue to keep them doing that, we're going to win a bunch of games.
Yeah, and your dad was telling me you've been at Menard for 2 years now?
3.
3 years, okay. And you moved up from?
I came from Denham Springs High School.
Okay, so big 5A school, okay. So,
So looking at, just talk about some of the stats for the season. Of course, your dad posted earlier, but this is for your district stats here. I think you're 6-1. No, that's overall, right? Yeah,
overall.
Yeah, overall 6-1 with an ERA of .663. Batting average against 217. And I talked to Coach Marks earlier, and we was talking about some of the things that's made the difference between when you guys turned the corner and started the winning streak. And one of the things we noticed about you is you've cut down on the walks, throwing strikes, and in the zone, pounding the zone. So I think that's probably attributed to a lot of success.
Buckeye, I walked like 3 in a row, or hit some of them. And I've been dialing it back in because my whole family says, like, usually it takes them about 1 inning to start pitching really well. So, yeah.
Good.
it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
That's right. That's right.
Sir.
And the finishes have been really well. It's like the Ash game. you come in the ninth, and you guys walked that one off and you shut them down. So that was good to watch. What do you like about football? What's something that why choose football or baseball, or was it just kind of the way it worked out?
It's just the way it worked out. I like, like, you mean like what you like to do in football?
Yeah. I mean, what's the
Throwing touchdowns.
so throwing a touchdown like striking out a batter, or a little better? What do you think?
I'd say it's a little better because
Okay.
it's more of it contributes more to the game.
Gotcha.
Than a strikeout does.
Hey, Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's hard to compete against that.
Yeah, I played football in high school as well, and Friday Night Lights in Sinlaw is pretty good. It's pretty nice. So, well, man, we've enjoyed watching you play. We didn't get to watch you play, football because we just covered the baseball. Danny and I, we were busy in the fall, but we've enjoyed watching you on the baseball field. And good luck in the future, man.
I
I
look forward to the next few weeks and
Yes.
seeing what we can do for the playoffs. We look forward to carrying that as far as we can.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna have Drake Aldridge, another senior up here. So you're watching Around the Diamond with Scully and Marks on 446 Sports.
Buying car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much? Will someone be there for you when the unexpected happens? I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. You may think it's easier online, but why wait? We're here to help you make sure you're covered. When it comes to car insurance, we have the answers, and we may have rates that save you money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Alexandria, Louisiana. We're now joined by Drake Aldridge. And Drake, what did you just eat, man?
I just ate some lemon pepper wings from my buddy Reeves. They have to be by far the best wings I've ever tasted.
Bone in or?
Bone in.
Okay, yeah. People think I'm weird because I eat the boneless wings.
Yeah, it is pretty weird, man.
I used to be like that, but not anymore.
All right, so now we know about the wings there. Let's talk about this new favorite moment of Drake Aldridge's high school baseball career.
Yes, sir. It was really exciting.
So you could see it on 446 Sports.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let's tell us about it.
Especially watching it from the view, like the new view is by far the best.
Excellent. So, well, since he's not going to brag about it, we will. So he had a grand slam against South Bow on Friday night in the tune-up game, and golfed one over left field wall. And so you said it's the first grand slam of your career?
Second.
Second. Okay.
I hit one when I played for Coach Jordan during 12 youth.
Oh, I'm talking about high school. I'm talking
yes,
about Menard
sir.
High School, man.
Yes, sir.
So we'll talk about, you and Cooper came, I think, the very first game and talked to Coach Nick and I before the game. And I asked you about, what do you approach at hitting? And you entering postseason, you're hitting .402. But you told me that you like to see the ball out over the plate and you like to drive it the other way.
Yes, sir.
I think that was probably one of the less than a handful of hits you had with that home run that you pulled. Everything else, you stuck with that approach. Tell me what you think that's done for you for the season in hitting.
It's helped me tremendously because I don't see inside or down the middle inside pitches I don't see. So I have to learn to either adapt to hitting the outside pitch or I don't hit at all.
Yeah, it was funny because we were calling one game and they had you they had the shift on, and Danny was like, they don't watch 446 Sports because they would know that Drake takes it back up the middle or even opposite. But no. So talk about you and your 5 teammates that signed on signing day this past week. Talk about that experience.
It was awesome, especially being like the class that has the most people to sign go through Menard. That was really cool. But I mean, there was 5 of us, but we also had Mike who signed with LCU too. Well, I'm going there too, so
right.
It feels good to have someone else going there with me from Menard.
Yeah, for sure. And yes, and of course you're going to play baseball at LCU, and
Yes.
And you were talking about the coaches and stuff. Coach Burns coached when I was in high school. That's something you could tell him about. And so he was the head football coach at Tioga whenever I was in school. But man, it's been fun to watch you. It's been fun to get to know you as a young man. I'll never forget one evening. We're shutting everything down. And how old are you?
Me?
Yeah,
18 now.
He's 18. And you tell us, hey, everybody have a good night and be careful. I don't think I've ever had an 18-year-old tell me to be careful, but that was awesome. That was awesome to hear. But man, like I said, it's been fun watching you field at first base. It's been fun watching you. It's been fun getting to know you. And Coach Danny and I want to thank you for being part of this and letting us be a part of this.
Well, we can't thank y'all enough for doing everything y'all do for our program.
No problem.
Thank y'all.
We're going to go to break, and when we come back from break, we'll have Coach Jordan back on to talk about this week. You're watching Around the Diamond on 446 Sports.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
The fine folks at BK Distributors want to thank all the educators for weathering the storms, so to speak, through 2020 and beyond. Thank you for your dedication to our children. The end of the school year awards are now available. Any type of award, trophies, banners, plaques, they do it all at BK Distributors. So with school almost out, that means summer leagues are in full swing. New items, same great prices, and fast turnaround. BK Distributors, Highway 20 in East Pineville behind Arby's.
And welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings here in Alexandria, Louisiana for Around the Diamond with Coach Scully and Coach Marks. And Coach Marks joins us again. Let's talk about this week, Coach. It's going to be playoff time.
Yep, it's a big one. Got Fisher coming into town from New Orleans. I think they're out of Lafitte, Louisiana. And game 1 is Friday night at 6:30 at Menard. And then game 2 is Saturday at noon. And if there's either game 3, it's following that, probably 3 o'clock on Saturday. So. Yeah. Big week for us.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, it's you have to win 2. It's a 3-game series. You have to win 2. Fisher's number 13 seed. They beat Haynes Academy. Best 2 out of 3. They won. They swept Haynes. They're district champions from 9-2A. So a little bit smaller school than what we are. But we're 2A.
It's the same.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
same.
That's
yep.
right.
We're District 4 2A.
That's right. That's correct. So
talk to me about this week, how it's going to go, what your plans are, because you still got a few days off. But talk to me about the week, and then how do you got 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. How do you keep them still focused and driven, but not to put too much pressure on themselves?
Well, and I think for last Friday was a big test for that. I was worried, just being an exhibition game, not meaning anything. How were we going to prepare? How were we going to show up? And I'm telling you, the energy and the focus and the leadership we had Friday going into that game was some of the best I've seen all year. these guys have been there. I mean, they're veterans. They did it last year. I'm telling you that they're hungry to get to Sulphur. And so I look for them to come to work every day this week with a lot of energy. And I challenged them Friday. I said, look, Monday, I'm going to put it on you. You know, we're going to go. I plan on practicing until 5:30, 6 o'clock every day this week. Work out all our kinks, put in some new stuff. Just the way we coach as a coaching staff. I don't put everything in at the beginning of the season. I usually wait, put a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. We're still talking about, you know, high school kids. You throw everything at them at once and expect them to know everything where they're going to forget some stuff. So we'll put in a couple of things this week and perfect those, and then we'll go into the weekend feeling confident. And hopefully next week we'll have some things to put in before we get that quarterfinal matchup.
So, and then the way the season ended, Coach, with the district championship, undefeated district championship, and then also, like you said, you beaten Buckeye in the game you had on Friday. Okay. Anything different with this group now that they're a year older that you see?
I think a lot of it has to do with the experience and being in those big moments, especially in the playoffs, because, you know, it's the last chance to do something. If you lose, you go home, you know, and luckily we played a 3-game set, and I think 3-game set sets up in our favor. It'd be tough to face our lineup 3 different times and get through it without us, you know, catching something. And I don't know. I like our chances. I like the experience we have. You know, last year was the first time in 17 years that we've been to Sulphur, and, you know, I'm telling you, you look into those guys' eyes and you can tell they want to be back. They got a little taste of it last year, and I think they want to go the distance this year.
So nobody likes to look ahead. You can't do that in baseball. Sure. You can't do that in any sport. But right. No, nobody likes to look ahead. But if the seeds hold true, and you guys win, Dunham wins, you got Dunham coming into town next week. What do we know about Dunham?
Dunham's a really, really good ball club. We've played them in the past. We played them the last 2 years. Beat them last year, lost to them the year before. They're going to be just like us. They're going to have guys that can get up there and throw it. They're going to have guys that can run. They're going to have guys that can swing it. They're going to pretty much play error-free baseball. But, you know, nothing we haven't seen. This Park, especially you hadn't played there all year. I don't know. How many games did y'all do this year? Do you know? At home?
We're
we have 20.
12. Well, how many games did you play?
Yeah, we're 21, I think.
21, yeah.
If you count the double headers.
Yeah. So we had 21 out of 28 games at our park this year. Yeah. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. The guys get to sleep in their own beds, go through their same routine. And, you know, I like, if you look at the whole bracket, I like our side of the bracket. Even, you know, not saying we're going to do it, but play this series, win it, play Dunham, win it, and go to Sulphur. We got St. Charles Catholic, you know, and the guys want another shot at St. Charles. They embarrassed us a little bit last year in the final game. I think we were a little overwhelmed, you know, just from everything. I mean, Sulphur's big, and these guys want another shot at it. So.
Well, Coach, we definitely appreciate it. I know this is going to be the last show of the season as far as here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I mean, I know Doug has told you thanks on behalf of 446. Danny and I want to say thanks as well. This has been a lot of fun. You've opened up your program to us, you guys. Anything we've asked of, I mean, from the game changer stats during the game, which, I mean, that's amazing, man. That just really helps our.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. Like I said, we appreciate your coaches being on. We appreciate Coach Drew, Coach Turney.
Sure.
You know, like I said, the parents have been phenomenal. Great parent group, even Coach LaRue, which I hate to, you know, but do want to thank him because he's the one who introduced us to you.
That's right.
And I want to say thanks to Danny, you know, as well, because this wouldn't have been, you know, as easy as a transition for us to take on this without Danny being a part of it. So
sure.
And
I want to thank y'all both. Everybody that I talked to in the community, you know, I said, man, I didn't see it park. Man, it's easy. I watch it on 446 Sports. And so I appreciate all.
We want them to come out to the park. We want the entry fee to come to the park. But if you can't, that's what we're there for.
I know, and it's been great. It has. I like the relationship that we built this year. I appreciate all the time, effort, and energy it takes for you guys to show up to the park and get all that stuff ready. So hats off to you guys. I really do appreciate it.
So we will be on air. We'll be on air for probably 6:15 this Friday at the Nest. Like I said, please come out and watch the game. While you're at the game, you can turn 446 on. We're a little tape delayed, so you can watch the replays of the great things that are happening. So, and then on Saturday for sure at noon, we'll be there, probably go live about 11:45. And
then we'll probably have him on a little extra after the game so we can do our post-game show and look forward to next week. So, we'll do our regular post-game, but we might spend a little more time on what's coming up since we won't have a show.
So we definitely look forward to it. He's Danny Clear. He's Coach Jordan Marks. I'm Nick Magnano. You all have a good evening. May the Lord bless you.